Well, hey guys, today is still April 24th and still out here at Westside. Uh, gonna give you a little treat, and I'm gonna turn this over to Paul, who's been with us for about a year now, and yeah, I'm just gonna let him talk. So I'm gonna pan over to Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Hi everybody. I've been running around with these guys for about a year, and it's kind of funny how I got hooked up with them, but that's another story. This is probably my fifth or sixth trip out, and I had my first experience last night. Was the 23rd, and it was a full moon. Um,
Well, let me stop you right there. He had his first sighting, not his first experience, but his
exactly,
first sighting.
my first visual sighting. Uh, and it was my idea to come out on the 23rd. I just feel at this point I'm more comfortable with a full moon. But ironically, my sighting happened right around, I would say 5:15. It was still daylight, and that's what really struck me. What happened? I call it a tree peeker. Out there, probably 80 yards from where we were sitting. We were just sitting there observing, and um, I just happened to be looking out there and studying that group of trees, and I'll stare at it for a few seconds to see if anything's moving. Well, lo and behold, guess what? Something peeked out behind it and looked at me. And I leaned forward in my chair and I said, "Oh my God, am I seeing that?" Anyway, it went behind the tree, and I turned around and I'm trying to get everyone's attention. "Hey guys, hey, over here." I don't want to yell and scare it. And then it leaned out again farther, and on the second time it stepped out to where I seen one whole leg, but he leaned out this way, and I was able to see a shoulder and then the head up to about, well, right here. The tree was hiding his second shoulder, and he kind of stood there for about 3 or 4 seconds and looking at me, and I kind of jumped up and I was looking at him. I think he knew he'd been seen, and he went back behind, and that was the last we saw of him. Another member a few minutes later walked out there, and I still sat in my chair so I can give him a pinpoint, and he did the same thing. So we're to give us a height guess of what it was, and I'll say it came in about 5'8". Wasn't real tall, but that doesn't mean it wasn't bending down a little bit either. So, but what I seen was about 5'8". Now, that was my first sighting. I've had several other experiences that cannot be denied, but that was my, what do they call it? The aha moment.
Yeah.
Aha. I know absolutely 100% they are real. Now, why it took me a year to see it, I don't know. But it was every minute of it was well spent. So,
Well, like I tell you, just remember there's a lot of people who've been doing this for a lot of years that have never seen one. So,
well,
you're way above the curve.
I know, and I realize that I can't see them from the front room couch either. So,
Yeah.
this is our third night out here, and we're going to pack up in the morning and get out of here. But it's time I go home, get a shower, and shave, and become a person again. But I mean, it was very emotional last night. I'll never forget it. And for those of you out there that are still seeking that first one, don't give up. Just keep putting the time in. It'll happen. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. So that was Paul. And we love Paul. Now I'm going to spin around. I'm going to throw Chuck under the bus because Chuck's got a similar story.
Well, a little bit earlier in the same evening, I saw basically in the same area, maybe 100 feet away from where Paul had his sighting, I had seen the tree peaker as well. And Kevin and I did a recreation on it, and it was probably the same one because the size was about the same. But it stuck its head out and looked at me. It didn't step clear out like Paul saw it, and I kept, I do like everybody else did. I kept questioning whether I really saw what I saw, but I've seen it before, and deep down inside I know what it was. Now I can't tell you what color it was, even though it was daylight. It was far enough away, but it was a dark color. And Kevin went out there and stood where it was at, and it was a little bit shorter than Kevin, so like Paul said, we estimate probably 5'8" or so. And when Paul saw his, I went out there and did the recreation on his, and we agreed on the size. But so it was from that standpoint, it was pretty good afternoon. Two of us had sightings, and after later on in the evening, we didn't really have the level of activity we sometimes have, but that's okay. It's all part of all gives us a dot, so we can put another dot and when connect the dots, and the puzzle becomes clearer, and we learn. So Kevin, I'll give it back to you.
All right, so we'll just kind of pan around a little bit and get ready to call this one quits. Chairs over there where we'll be sitting out, and Chuck's van and the ark. Way over there, that's Wayne. He's been sleeping all day. He doesn't have much to say. Anyway, as always, thank you for taking your time to listen. I love each and every one of you. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Please, please, please pay close attention to your surroundings. Stay safe. Peace out.